Hey, I'm Josh Duvall, certified financial planner, registered tax preparer from joshuaduvall.com. And I wanted to bring you this quick video today in light of the news about the debt ceiling, inflation, all the things happening in the economy. I wanted to bring you one positive note, okay? It's the silver lining on the big cloud of inflation. Here it is. Having a low interest rate fixed mortgage or loan is a hedge against inflation. What does that mean? Well, inflation reduces the amount of value that every dollar is worth. A good way to think about this is, 20 years ago, when you could buy a candy bar for $1, and today that same candy bar costs $2. Okay, I don't know, it's just an example, but you can think about all the things when you were a kid, a gallon of gas, whatever it might be. And, oh man, that only used to cost this, and now it costs a much higher number. Well, what's happening? It's not that the good or the service has increased in value, it's the same. And in fact, because of technology, many times the actual cost to produce that good or service has declined. So why does it cost more to us, the consumer? Because of inflation. Inflation happens with a mix of government and market. Okay, so the government does things like toys with interest rates, takes out debt, prints more money than we have the ability to manage from an economic standpoint. And then there's also market forces that cause inflation to happen. Okay, so there's a mix of those things and it results in inflation. The Federal Reserve, the Fed, their stated inflation goal is 2% a year. And a year like 2021, we're actually seeing 5+% inflation. When you zoom in on individual economic sectors like healthcare, like education, inflation is way higher than that. So there's a reality that inflation exists. You as the consumer cannot control global inflation. Okay, I'm sorry, I can't control it. You can't control it. It's much bigger than any one person, but we can take steps to mitigate or even take advantage of the reality of inflation in our personal finances. One way we can do that is through a mortgage. When you get a low interest rate, locked rate mortgage, okay, so a fixed rate, let's say for 30 years, very typical mortgage, what you're doing is actually decreasing the true cost of ownership of your house. Now, you might be saying to yourself, wait a minute, how can you decrease the true cost of ownership? Your mortgage is fixed. Yes, it is, but inflation is not fixed. So if you have $1,000 mortgage, okay, just an example, today, and you have $1,000 mortgage today, the actual loan, principal interest is $1,000 a month. That $1,000 a month will actually cost you less if inflation rises a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Your rate will still be $1,000 a month. But what $1,000 can get you out in the open market is a lot less. So you're actually paying less and less and less of what's called purchasing power parity, the true value of a dollar against your mortgage, even while at the same time, over time, your property value is increasing. So this is one of the hidden ways where home ownership makes a big difference than renting. Now, people will talk about things like the sunk cost of improvements and repairs and taxes and all of those things. I'm not denying any of those realities. But one thing that rises with the cost of inflation is renting, landlord, rentals, all of those things go up as inflation goes up. A fixed mortgage rate does not go up. In fact, the value of what you pay, the true cost, actually decreases as inflation rises. So at the end of 2021, to think about it in a purely number standpoint, if we have 5% inflation over the course of this year, that means your mortgage actually costs you in true dollars 5% less than it did a year ago. That's no small thing, right? If it's averaged 2% a year for 5 years, that's 10% less than what you were originally paying. Over the course of 30 years, that really makes a difference. So I wanted to share that with you because we have clients that are asking about home purchasing, and there's other things that go into it, okay? You don't make a purchase of a home based only on inflation and a fixed interest rate, all right? There's lots of other things that go into that decision. But I did want to present to you in kind of a gloomy, everyone stressing about inflation and jobs and COVID and all the things related to the debt ceiling and everything that hits the news. Fixed rate mortgages, fixed rate loans, maybe you've purchased a vehicle, a second home, whatever it is. that's actually a benefit as a hedge of an appreciating asset like real estate against inflation. So there is a financial case to be made that if you have the opportunity to get a reasonably priced property at a low interest rate when inflation is on the rise and looks to be continually rising, it's not a short-term blip. It looks like inflation will continue to grow over time. Then owning a mortgage at a fixed rate could be a really big financial benefit for you. So hopefully that makes sense to you. If you have questions, you want to talk to somebody about how to navigate all of this stuff, I'd love to chat with you. You can send me an email, josh@joshuaduvall.com, or you can go to the website, joshuaduvall.com. Everything about who I am and the services I offer are available there. You can fill out a form or shoot me an email. I'd love to connect with you. Thanks so much. I hope you have a great day.